Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will present about how learning based on problem that we have. In this section, there are so many problems that we have faced when we are doing study from home, especially in this condition. As a teacher, how we can manage our teacher with learning model, problem-based learning from home. Maybe you think it was so difficult because you can control your student project or experiment that they had been done from home. And also, when you do it from home, it also lack of tools and equipment that they need. So, as a teacher, we should looking for something that it can usually can do from home, and the experiments that we could do, it is there are so many equipment and tools that you can borrow or you can get from your home. So how it could be, let's check this out. I'm Bimawanti Katsari Nugraha from International Biology Education, State University of Surabaya 2017. Today, I will explain to you what is about problem-based learning models. Problem-based learning model is one of the model when we teach our student about how we can learn from the problem that we have faced of. There are so many problems that related to the biological education. One of the thing is about the growth factor of the plant. There are so many factors that can affect of plant growth. So how it could be? Plant growth factor, there are so many factors that it can affect of. One of the things is about light, water, and then the soil or the base of the plant, and then enzyme, and etc. So from these problem-based learning models, we could teach our students about how to solve about the problem when we face off, when we know that there are so many growth factors about the plant. And about that, we could also doing the experiments about how to we know how the effect of the manufacture of that. And the experiments that we could do is so easy, and everything, the tools and the equipment can we get from the home. So in this condition, when we should study from home like this, we are as a teacher should know what is the tool and the equipment that can student get from home, so they can make their own experiments. In this section, I will let you know how we teach about problem-based learning in this era when we are studying from home, especially when in this subject is about growth factor in the plant. Are you curious? Let's check this out.
After you enter the application of Zoom, don't forget to make sure that you have internet connection. After that, you can make a new meeting. You can click in here. And then after this, you can start a video. After you start with video, don't forget to join with computer audio, so your student can listen what would you say. You can click in here. And then after this, you can invite your student. After that, don't forget to invite your student in here with this. You can invite them by your contact or by their email. After that, you can share screen. What the screen that would you like to share?
So after you turn on your technology equipment to give learning to the student like Zoom or Google Meeting, you can start to teach your children using problem-based learning model. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How are you today? Are you fine? How was about your studying from home? I hope it goes well. And I hope also that we can give this help for us to stay healthy in this condition. Today, before we start the study, please let's pray together. Pray first. Amin. How's your life today? Today we will learn about growth factor in a plant. There are so many growth factors that can cause an effect to the plant when they grow. Do you know what is that? Maybe you can give me one of the example. Yes, you're right, water. Water is one of the growth factors that can affect the plant. There are so many factors beside the water. There are also lights and the soil and then enzyme and etc. So when all of you answer, you have the best answer about that. And then now there are so many problems when we can give the factor to the plant, so it will make the plants grow slow or the growth is danger. So what should we do to do that? If we can give them the growth factor of the plant, what will the plant do? In here, I will show you about the problems when the growth factor of the plant didn't give to them. It will make a problem to the plants. Please watch this news below.
Plant damage from too much fertilizer. Fertilizer is a good way to help your plants grow big and strong, especially if they are in nutrient-poor or unbalanced soils. The three primary nutrients supplied by fertilizers are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. However, you may choose a different fertilizer mix depending on your soil and personal preference. Whatever you choose, never over-fertilize. It can have negative consequences, ranging from weed invasions to a chemical burn. Fertilizer burn. Quick-release fertilizers are designed to provide a large amount of nitrogen to the soil. In moderation, this can be a good thing. If you use too much quick-release fertilizer and then overwater or have a heavy rain, your soil can suddenly become saturated with nitrogen. This can kill plant roots. If plants get 5 to 10 times the amount of nitrogen they need, they will burn, turning the color of straw and dying from the tips down. Once this happens, plants can not be saved. In the case of lawn grass, water heavily to flush away the excess chemicals. Overgrowth. A more common problem with overfertilization is that your plants will produce a lot of leaf matter very quickly. Overfertilized tomatoes, for example, will grow leaves very quickly and produce less fruit. Over-fertilization of lawns can mean the grass grows very quickly, needing to be mowed more often. This can be tough on your mower as well as your grass. Weed encroachment. Fertilizers don't just affect the plants to which they are applied. In fact, fertilizing the soil around your wanted plants can also encourage weeds. This can particularly affect lawn grasses that have been growing very quickly due to over-fertilization. Because of their fast growth, they are mowed more often, which can kill them off and allow hardier weeds to take hold. Weeds can sometimes be treated with a weed and feed fertilizer that kills some plants while encouraging others, but these chemicals can be dangerous to use with sensitive plants such as dogwoods. Fungi. Brown patch and Pythium blight are two types of fungus-caused diseases that commonly affect lawns and golf courses. These diseases are often related to over-fertilization. They thrive on heavily fertilized, moist and poorly drained soils. Brown patch and Pythium are most common in warm, humid weather. They spread via mycelium fungus threads and can be devastating to plants. Recommendations. Instead of giving plants one big dose of fertilizer, fertilize in small amounts throughout the season. If this is too much work, choose a slow-release nitrogen fertilizer. Follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully, and if you aren't sure, err on the side of caution. It is much easier to add more fertilizer later than to flush it out of the soil when plants start dying.
How about the news that you have seen before? Have you ever experienced the things? I think all of us have known about the experience. Maybe we are not the experience that experiment, but maybe our uncle or our father or etc. has been experienced that experience. There are so many problems that cause the plants when we lack of the growth factor. So what happens if they don't get their growth factor? Yes, of course, the growth of the plant will decrease, and when they lack of growth factor, they make a damage for the plant. So after you watch the news about lack of the growth factor, you can also read this news about lack of the growth factor because of the eclim or because the condition that we can predict before. Let's read it. After you read and watch the problem when the plant lack of the growth factor, you can analyze what is the most problem that happen in Indonesia, especially when plant lack of the growth factor. It will damage their plants and cause the death of the plant. So make sure that you have the problem in your area, maybe because your real experiments when you know that plants is lack of the factor. After you analyzing the problem about what happened to the plant when they lack of the growth factor, you can make experiments that can prove your argument about what is the cause of the problem of the plant. So because we are doing study from home and we can go anywhere, you can make a simple project or simple experiments that all the tools and the equipment that are already in your home or around your home. So because we are stay study from home and we can make a group to do the experiments, you can make it simply experiments. So in here, after you create what is the experiment that you do, you can tell me how you design it. To make sure you have understand about the experiments that you should do, in here I will explain to you what is growth factor that I can make to make experiments based on the problem that we face every day. One of the growth factor that we should know is water. When we watering the plants, we should give them the perfect amount of the water. So when we water it, it will not rotate because we watering them so much water, or we are not little amount of the water that we can watering them, so they lack of water amount, then make the plant dead. So in here I will show you the simple experiments about how to prove that water is one of the growth factor for the plants. So in here I will let you know the simple experiments that you can do from the problem that I said before. So the equipment and the tools is so simple, and you can get them in your house and around your house. So it will not difficult you, because in this condition when the pandemic happened. For the first thing, the tools that I use is the cup. You can make a glass cup from the water, mineral water, or etc. to do the equipment. I will make it about three conditions. So I make the 3 cups of the mineral water, and then after that, the second one is I should do is cotton. So the base of the plant we should say usually is soil, but because these experiments I should make sure that the condition is the same for the 3 experiments thing that I do. So I use the cotton, so it will be the same from the 3 experiments, because I just want to know what is the effect when the different amount of the water for the growth of the plant. And then the precious thing that there is about water. I make a water. This is water that you get from your bathroom and etc. And then there is a straw. The straw is to count the amount of the water. So above the 1 drop of the water, it means that has the same amount with 1 drop, another 1 drop. So it will make sure that the amount of the water is the same for every 1 drop of water. And don't forget, we have the seed of the bean, or we call kacang ijo in Indonesia. You can use 3 or 4 seeds of the bean, so it can grow maximal in this cup. And then let's start the experiments. For the first, put the cotton in the bottom of the cup. You can make a one layer of the cotton, so it will be the same for about the one cup and the another cup. And then you can do in the second cup about these experiments. And then the third cup. After this, you can make sure and analyze how much the drop that you should do in this third of this cup. For the example, I will use for the first is without water, so I don't watering them. I don't watering them and let the seeds is in here. So in this condition, that condition will lack of the one of the factor of the growth. So there isn't any water in it. I give it 4 seeds about the bean. Make sure you has a space between them, so it will grow maximal around them. And then the second one, I will give them about because when one drop is too little, I will give it about 50 drop the water. Or because this is the experiments, you can also count it with the water glass that there is the amount of the water, so you can make sure that the amount of the water is truly same. After that, this is for the 50 water drops to make sure that they have water inside it, and I will give the seed of bean in that. Like for the first cup is 4, and then I will give them for also 4. In this 50 matter about the water is about 1 milli water, and then this is I will give 100, or it's about 2 milli water, because for the first I use the drop, I will also use it for the third cup. But if you can make it simple or make it easy, you can use the the glass that there is a count of what is the amount of the water, so it will help you to count the amount of the water. And And then after this, I will also add the pin about 4 and make sure that I give the space between them. So after this, because I just only want to know what is the effect about one of the growth factor, it is the water, so I will give it in the same place that they had in the sun, the light the same, and also the condition the same. I will give it in the window, near a window. So that is one of the example about make experiments based on the problem that you surface from everyday life. So how about you? What would you do? Please don't make a water as the example. Maybe you can make the other example, like what is the best things to make the base from the plant, like what is the kind of the soil that has the best effect to your plants. Or the other thing is about the light. What is the best condition of the light that what plant is need? It depends on you. Make your own creativity to have your experiments about what is the growth factor for the plant. And don't forget, after you do the experiments, you can give something like you should write in your report about what happened in every day about the plant. Maybe the root is appear or etc. You can write it in your daily report about the growth of the plant. And for the experiments that you made, I will give you the student sheet to guide you to do the experiments from your home. In this student sheet, there are also the read that we read before to make sure how you analyze what is the factor of the growth of the plant. As I said before, that I have done about one of the experiments about one of the factor for the growth plant. It is water, so you can make another factor about growth and about growth plant. So because the exercise that I will give you in this student sheet will help you to make your report about the experiments that we've been done. You make it as in a simple report about what happened when you give them a lot of the factor or a little amount of the factor. What happened to your plants? After this, I will give you the explanation about the student sheet. So this is the student worksheet that you should do to guide you make the experiments. For the first, read about this news. This news is about the high rainfall that happens in Jombang, Jawa Timur, that makes a lot of the chili plants damage. This happened in the beginning of the January. So after you write this, you can analyze what is the problem that happens in this news. So after this, there are some of the questions that guide you about how to make the report about the experiments that you should done. For the first is based on the problem what factors cause damage of the price of the chili. And then this is just about the how you can get one of the problems that it come from the news before. So if you take another damage that happen, maybe there are farm beside your home or etc. You can make it like the problem that you should solve it. So after that, There are also the question about the purpose of the practicum or the experiments that you do. This will help you to guide you to make the report about the experiments that you should done. And here for the number 1, number 2, number 3, and etc. You can answer this to design about the report that you should do. Make that question as a reference for making presentation material report about the result of the practicum design regarding external factor of plant growth. So you can make the report about the experiments that you should be done. I think this is enough about the explanation about the student worksheet. How about the explanation and the example about the experiments that I give all of the to you, my students? Do you understand about what is the studying that we have been done today? So in this our life, there are so many problems that make us to solve them, and then from we solve the problems, we can learn everything from them. So don't worry if you face the problem, you can solve them, and then make sure that you are learning something good from them. I think this is the last for today. Any question? Maybe you can ask me in our chat room when you have the difficulties or you have the question about the learning today. Thank you. I think it is enough. Let's pray first before we end the study. Enough. I think this is the last for today. Thank you for our studying today. I hope you enjoy studying from home in this pandemic condition. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.